All right, today we are unboxing the Monstrum Challenger, and specifically it's the 5 to 25 by 56 model. First focal plane, it's got a Christmas tree reticle, but let's just dive in and get this box opened up to show what's inside, and we will go over some of the features. So just took that sleeve off, and then you just take off this half of the box. And here is the scope wrapped in plastic to protect it from any scratches while shipping. And then it's got these little foam pads in here as well to protect it. So we'll set those off to the side and take this scope out of this plastic sleeve. And the scope does come with these silicone scope covers, which are super nice just for hunting or shooting. If you're in any sort of bad weather or dusty environments, it's nice to keep both your front and rear elements clean and free of any debris or anything that would hinder your sight picture. So we'll take this off real quick, put this off to the side, and here is the scope. This is a mill reticle. It comes in both a mill and an MOA styled reticle. You can pick whichever one you'd like. If you're more familiar with MOA, then I'd go that route. But if you're maybe getting into the long range shooting or familiar with mill or MRAD, then I would definitely check that out for any long range shooting. Like I said, the magnification goes from 5 to 25 on this scope, and you got a parallax adjustment here. That's super smooth, goes from 25 yards to 500 and then infinity. And that's very important for long range shooting because if your parallax is off a little bit, that can change your impact out at distance. And then of course, 2 exposed turrets that are very just easy to use. You can hear the clicks super well, which I like, especially with headphones on, or even if you're shooting suppressed. It's just nice to be able to hear each click and know exactly where you are dialing that scope to. And another big thing is when I was shooting the scope last week out at range, when I was dialing in, I was wearing headphones and I couldn't hear the clicks, but they're very easy to feel. And that's both with the windage and the elevation. Windage here, you have push and pull to unlock the turret. So once you push it in to lock it, it's not gonna turn. And then you just pull it, make your adjustment, push it back in to lock it. And both the elevation and windage turrets have the ability to reset them to 0. So when you're sighting it in, you're gonna be moving both of these dials and they're gonna end up on numbers that are not 0. So you can easily, with a tool that is included in these bags right here that I'll get into in a sec, you just pop off this little cap, you pick up the turret completely off of the scope, line 0 back up, press it down, and now you're all set back to 0. And then something that's super nice on the scope, especially for this budget range, is a 0 stop. So you can stop the, you make your dials for your distance, and then there's a 0 stop. So when you go back, it stops at 0 and it stays there, which is super nice because when you're kind of dialing all the way out for really long ranges, you might not know where 0 is exactly. So you can just twist it all the way back, hit 0, and you are exactly where you need to be sighted in at your your sight-in distance, which for me, it was 100 yards. So I know that 0 on here is 100 yards every single time. There's also an illuminated center reticle, just a small part of the crosshair that's illuminated, and it's got 6 power settings ranging from 1 to 6. And what I really love about this is that it goes in increments. It goes 1 and then off, and then 2 and then off. A lot of different scopes, you have to crank it all the way around to get to 6 or to turn it off. Maybe you're at 6 power, you want to crank it all the way back to off, and yet it takes a full revolution. This, it's just a little bit of a turn and it turns it off, which is super handy. Like I said, I was shooting the scope last week. I shot it all the way up to 770 yards with a 308 and it performed awesome. I shot it with a few other scopes to compare them to, and it held its own with those scopes that were twice the price of this one right here. The glass clarity is pretty dang good for a $230 scope. So I really had no complaints. It shot great. It's pretty lightweight for all of the features that are in this scope. And it's definitely a great option if you're looking to get into long range on a budget. So now let's dive into the rest of the stuff in the box here. First up, we have scope rings. a front and rear, and your front one here has a bubble level, which when you're shooting at distance is super important, because if you're canting your rifle at all left or right, that can change where you're going to impact downrange. So I love that it comes with a level. I love that it comes with the rings in general. Most scopes on the market, I would say, don't generally come with rings. So right out of the box, you're able to throw this on a pick reel and put the scope on the gun and go out and shoot. You don't really have to mess with finding the right rings that fit, or even have to, wait around to order or go buy them. So it comes with both of these rings, which is super nice. And then in this little baggie right here is going to be your manual for the scope. So it's going to go over the reticle that is inside the scope, how to use it, how to change the batteries, how to change your turrets to get them back to zero, how to set up your zero stop. It tells you everything that's included: scope rings, the lens cover, a cleaning cloth in here, and a battery as well for the illuminated reticle. And it just goes over everything that you need to know to get the scope shooting really good on your rifle. And then further in this baggie is that lens cloth, which is super nice to have to clean it and make sure your glass is always clean and clear. A little Allen wrench to adjust the zero stop. Minimum scope zero distance is 25 yards. Just a little note they have in here. Cool sticker, gotta love those. Your replacement battery, another Allen wrench, and then your turret tool right here. And this is what you use to take off this top cap right here. It's super simple, and it's nice that this little tool is included, because one time I was without it and I was trying to get this cap undone, and I was trying to use my pocket knife or even a quarter, and it's not near as handy as having this little tool right here. So we get this popped off, and then we'll use this tool again to take off this screw on top, which is holding your turret down actually. So we'll take this off, and then like I said, you can just pop this turret off just like this. So let's say we were sighting it in and we ended up on, let's say it was 4 mils of adjustment to get it sighted in, or whatever number it ends up on. It's not 0. So you'd want to bring this back to 0, push it down, put your screw back on here that holds the turret down, which this whole process is super simple to do. It's pretty intuitive, and this little tool right here makes it nice and easy. And this is something you can do on the range, no problem. You need this and some Allen wrenches and you're good to go. And then this is where you would adjust your zero stop. I already do have it adjusted because I shot it, but that's very simple. You just use these Allen wrenches to drive that screw down, lock it with this little lock screw here, and then your zero stop is set and you're good to go. Then you'd put this little cover back on here, and on top of this cover, it tells you that 1 click is 0.1 mrads, and it also tells you which direction to twist the turret to have your bullet impact up, and then on the windage here, which way to twist it to make your bullet go to the right. So that's just a quick overview of what comes in the box of this Monstrum Challenger. If you are wanting to learn more about it, hop on Monstrum's website, which is linked below, and you can learn all about this scope and a pile of other optics and accessories that they have on their website.